Hello, and welcome to another Wargame Dragon cast with me, Rangru. And today we have a 1v1 from the Wargame Bootcamp Discord monthly tournament. This month's, the October month's tournament theme is essentially to celebrate South Africa DLC. One player on each match has to be playing South Africa. And without further ado, on left-hand side in the blue, we have the Wargame superstar himself, Razzman, or Frostman in this case, playing as a South African motorized deck. Right hand side in red, we have Czar Trek, or Czar Trek I should say, playing as a Scandinavian deck. And right off the bat, we are going to be seeing a Vigan flying about. By the way, this is, if you didn't know, Highway to Seoul. We're seeing Infantry CV and Brava, and a run of his Vigan actually getting out to do a bit of seed work. Or no, just not seed work, my bad. It's something flying around. I was going to maybe go off to the infantry. Helicopter transport, yeah. Or the Alpha. Or something, but no. Yes, come on. Shoot something down, it's an expensive investment early on. Oh, not too expensive. Only 105 points, but still. He does manage to shoot down both helicopters, so not bad indeed. Not bad at all. Of course, Razzman playing South Africa. And of it being South Africa motorized, yeah, you really have to rush your opponents. I'm really looking forward to actually seeing how these guys actually perform in a cast. A very hard division, or not division, deck to play, as you don't have a whole lot of high anti-tank weaponry, especially the motorized. You really have to rely on your helicopters and airplanes, deal with super heavies head on. But as you can see, you have speed. You have a lot of speed, and these RoyKat runner 5s have already made it to, Echo before even Czar Trek stuff can actually even get into there. So very good positioning. They're going to be getting hit by that scout defender, which is going to try to defend Echo the best he can. But defend it well, he will not. I've seen some buffaloes being dropped into the village. And this is really the key point here of South Africa is the mobility, and Razzman is taking advantage of it, rushing into Charlie. You kind of just have to go full out. Can't really allow the enemy time to breathe. You just gotta keep maneuvering into your face. And this Buffalo 85 is a perfect spot to get some ATGM hits on some of these cheaper transports. But you're seeing smoke being dropped to deny that and allowing the Dragoneers get a little bit closer to blow them up, and the RoyKat cavalry charge is going to be pulled back for a little bit. Down south, Razzman is moving through some Ferret Mark IIs with recoilless rifles. Not the best vehicle tab in general for South Africa, but when you're playing motorized, you might as well make advantage of it. It's not like you have many other units to really pick from. Oh, getting some good hits in the SCRV. A lot of smoke, and soon to be a lot of infantry as these Dragoneers and heck even Stormers come into the battle. So far, very good map control here from Razzman. He's meant to make pretty good headway down south and so far in the center. Not pushing too much into Delta, but, well, South Africa probably wouldn't fare this well in this sector. It's definitely much more of a head-on, close quarters fight, which isn't really ideal. It's not as many flanking opportunities in the Delta perimeter. Well, up north in Echo, you've got all this lovely open space for you to spread your legs with your RoyKats. The Buffaloes are actually doing a pretty good job holding off the infantry. They're pretty much only coming in run at a time, as we're seeing. It's going to give them much better advantage, and the Stormers are going to storm in, but a little bit too late, however. They are going to fare a little bit better as they are actually shock infantry. But the RoyKats are going to provide some lovely fire support here. Both sides are just going to go absolutely at it. Razzman's done a very good job of keeping his RoyKat alive. He'll be very good at microing him. Unfortunately, he hasn't had to deal with a whole lot of super heavy or heavy tanks right now. We have that one SDRV, but even then, the RoyKat does actually have a decent chance of doing damage to it, as it's not yet well armoured. 17 AP gun versus a 15 armor tank is not too bad. Though the SDRV is actually a pretty... Actually, I'd take it back. The SDRV is a pretty good counter to South African motorized, as you have a ridiculous rate of fire on that gun, which makes it very easy to pop off RoyKats one by one, and it's pretty much a one-hit kill, with just how poorly armored the RoyKats are. I do take that back. Yeah, I think Scandi should be pretty well equipped to deal with South Africa. As long as you take out those RoyKats, it's really just about using your armor superiority to beat out the infantry. Just getting enough anti-air to deal with any helicopters and airplanes which come your way. That's the other big threat. They do have some pretty decent aircraft for South Africa. I've seen a bit of a cheeky flank here for Ratel Trenti. And if he's going to go all the way into Bravo, just try to camp the road for the time being. I think he's just going to camp the road. And the SAS going to be trying to snipe the Vigan. Like how pretty much all the Commonwealth countries, apart from Canada, does have some sort of SAS infantry. South African one definitely copying more of the British SAS by having stingers. It could be the SAS like regular for South Africa, not the 90 model, where you only have bloody Strela 2s. And the question is, why the hell would you ever take that? Unless you're playing like a Category C or Category B South African deck. And then my other question would be, why would you even play that? That sounds absolutely awful. But so far, Czar is actually doing a pretty good job of actually retaking the in-between of Echo and Delta here. Manson to capture both villages back under his control. Voicing the RoyKats back. Seeing a decent amount of artillery fire, just as smoke to cover his infantry advance. The trackers are definitely going to be able to track down the Kurtjägers, yeah. And the RoyKats providing some lovely fire support. I do love these two 105s up north here. Very good position to get some snipes. But as you've seen, they've been spotted and they are being sniped from the classic Bacan. Because the Bacan can. Oh, it can with that high rate of fire. Breeds do not know how to not mess about with heavy artillery. And Run has already went down. You can definitely quite easily flush out those RoyKats. They don't have a whole lot of armor value. So if they stand still with that 155mm artillery gunfire, is going to cause quite a bit of damage. Well, main thing though is that Razzman has meant to completely secure the southern side, no questions asked. So even if he does lose, you know, Echo or Delta, he still has this advantage down south here. And heck, I mean, actually pushing onto Delta now is not a terrible idea, because he can flank around from the south and provide some pretty good fire support from the southern ridge. Gives you another angle of attack, which is something that you need as South Africa. You need all the angles. You can't just afford to get head on, especially as motorized. We're seeing a Rhino over here provide some counter battery fire here. I think against the Bacan. Actually getting a few good hits. One more should take it out. But of course it is near the FOB, so it can just get resupplied. This makes artillery sniping much more difficult. Unless this one is going to be the Hail Mary. Full of grace. The Lord is with you. Nah, the Lord is not with him. And that Bacan is getting repaired. Razzman has lost just a little bit of momentum here. But he still has good map control at least. We're seeing two Leopard 185s up north. They aren't too much of a threat for the RoyKats. But still not something you want to hit head on, as the Leopard does have a better armor value and a pretty similar gun. I mean, both are using that NATO 105. You're actually a better gun, has a higher rate of fire. I've seen the Beta 90 being brought in. Great choice. And a real key anti-tank unit here, that 26 AP missile. It's going to be a one-hit kill against those Leopards. Oh no. Shooting against the Greyhound, yeah. I honestly think the missile probably costs more than the actual M8 Greyhound at this point. It's actually pretty funny thinking about Nora using M8 Greyhounds. I mean, it's like an open-top vehicle. It'd get pretty cold, wouldn't it? Or something you'd really want to drive around in a Norwegian winter countryside. Heck, the Russians adopted the Su-76 and they did pretty well with that, to be fair. Seen more counter-artillery fire. Actually, he did kill the Bacan. Wow, not bad. Actually killing the scout defender too. I don't think it was intentional. Or maybe it was actually. Yeah, he does have it, RoyKat. Doing some good spotting work here. Great maneuvering here from Razzman. I mean, Czar has really dropped the ball a little bit by just completely letting go of Charlie. I mean, there could be more sneaky CV snipers coming in over here. Czar is going to be countering with some M8 Greyhounds. But I don't know how early M8 Greyhounds will even do against RoyKat. It does have a very fast firing guns, of course. But their AP power is abysmal. Using smoke to cover his... No, that's... I thought he was using smoke to cover the helicopter here, but... Gonna be doing some counter... Or not counter, but just regular battery fire into Delta. Gonna be smoking off that forest for a little bit, and he does have a bit more presence in here. At least some infantry in the forest to secure it. I've seen some stormers trying to storm up the ridge, run into some SAS, and managing to beat them out, but with heavy casualties. Razzman still has a decent amount of forces in here, even though it's mainly just crappy ferrets. Heck, he only have 10 shots with those recoilless rifles. That's not that great. What the hell? Did he... Okay, managed to capture the FOB. And gonna be forcing Star Trek to get a Fennec TOW 2, which can't hit the broadside of a barn. Not bad harassment player from Razzman at all. Gonna be forcing Star Trek to relocate his CV in the fear of getting shot in the head by a rhino. Seeing more RoyKat flanks over here. Bringing in the 105 for good measure. Yeah, it's exactly what you need to be doing in South Africa. Be playing in the flanks in the open field and just harassing the enemy supply lines. You kind of got to adapt a guerrilla warfare approach. Especially in 1v1s, as you do have a lot of map control. Like, I played South Africa a bit, mainly in team games. I'm not a huge 1v1 fan in Wargame when I do play. But in team games, I find them to be quite difficult. As it's usually have less map to... You have, like, less map for you to take advantage of. And you're forced into narrow choke points. And especially if South Africa motorized, that does not lead for a good time. Fennec TOW 2 getting a good snipe here. On Razzman bringing in the seed. The Cheetah D. I always find it such a weird seed aircraft because it shoots a high explosive seed missile compared to an armor penetration run. Which is a bit weird. Unfortunately, most anti-aircraft units, radar anti-aircraft units, especially on the Soviet side or Red Force side, aren't well armored. Scandinavia can be... I think, yeah, most of the Scandi stuff is actually not well armored. It's not like the Challenger marksman. It just won't bloody die. On a Beta managing to get to use his missiles or gun and rockets effectively to deal with the Falcon Jager. Gonna be suppressing that push, so some stormers have managed to flank around behind enemy lines, but not gonna be doing all that much. Yeah, I think, yeah, they're in rocket range of the road. Maybe I can snipe a transport or two. So far, I mean, we're 16 minutes, or yeah, like 15 minutes into the match, and I mean, CV point rise or command point rise, pretty even Stevens. Razzman definitely does have that map control. And as he's starting to bring in a CV into Golf now that things have quietened down a little bit, I'm gonna be getting that nice +1 point advantage. I'm seeing a whole heap of RoyKats being brought in now. Oh, and Czar track actually bringing in the automatic. Gonna be a nasty piece of kit, yeah. Definitely does need to get some more into, yeah, especially with these helicopters flying about. I mean, that Beta 90 is a real nasty customer to deal with. Especially against the SCRV, that could be a, like, 1-2 shot kill. No NTR nearby. Oh, it takes it like a champio. Oh, Vigan coming in. Oh, he's trying to go after the cheetah. Does lose the Vigan, however. And the Alpha gonna be pushing through, clearing off that Toto, and yeah, he really needs some anti-air up north here. It's not looking good. He's bringing in LKV. There'll be something at least. Now I've seen a push into Delta, and this is where Star Trek really needs to try and force a fight, and he's head-on to blunt engagement. It's really where he will rule supreme. I think for the mortar fire, as well as the RoyKats providing some fire support, the tank's coming in just a little bit too slow here. A lot of the infantry is going to be dead before that push actually had a chance to properly materialise. Bit of a shame, yeah, for Star Trek. Because in these head-on engagements, I mean, SCRVs can right the floor of those RoyKats. Even though he did take heavy casualties, he's making good progress. The Inflict is inflicting a bit of damage here. It's like reared recoilless rifle. Yeah, Delta is pretty much in Star Trek's control. Seeing the Buccaneer being brought in. Gonna be taking some heavy anti-aircraft fire and does get shot down. Seeing the RoyKats come in as well. As you can see, against a head-on engagement, not wanting to, fight too much head-on with those SCRVs. You can see that fire rate is pretty gnarly. Gonna be seeing some smoke to cover the advance. Yeah, real good push here from Star Trek. Well, Stormers have got spotted and gonna be fighting against the Burger Mags. Of course, them only being reservists infantry, they're not gonna fare too well against shock infantry. At least you have 15 man reserve infantry of South Africa, it's not too bad. Star Trek has actually managed to completely clear the Triangle Forest. If he just gets some tanks over here, he could actually start putting some pressure into Foxtrot. So he's in a very good position, considering he has the center of his map. Of course, Razzman bringing in more RoyKats. It's really the bread and butter, the diamond jewel of South Africa motorized. As well as some more infantry. We're going to be seeing the CV being brought into Delta. Try and stabilize that bleed on the Star Trek is almost 100 points down so far. Which is not an ideal to ideal position to be in, especially when there's only 20 or so minutes left in the match. We have seen another Bacan being brought in, across and his release suffer the same fate. Is he trying to snipe the SASF here? Maybe he can hit one of those cargo transports, that would be pretty good, but the cargo aren't gonna bugger off. Which is a very smart idea. Seeing a whole heap of smoke being dropped in here. Razzman gonna be rusting in the Berg Mags and the Power Batch. Star Trek doesn't have a whole lot of infantry, just one Stormer and one Dragoneer squad. They are in a defensive position at least, but once they get spotted, the Infleet can actually provide some lovely fire support, and I think Star Trek is gonna get kicked out of this forest. The South African infantry is going to be ready to overwhelming. Artillery fire up north as meant to force the SAF back, allows Czar trying to get his Kurstjägers in. So not a bad position to be in. What is this? What is this? It's a Cheetah D. I think he's trying to go after the automatic, but the automatic got killed. Good move in with the Casper. Just like that, Razzman has managed to flip the table onto Delta, and this is going to make Star Trek CV here a much more dangerous proposition. Frankly, not a good one. I mean, those Caspiers are making quite a bit of progress here. All you need to do is spot and kill the SCRV, or strip BV. Yep, he's gonna bugger off. That is a smart move indeed. Also, yeah, he lost both SCRVs there. Not ideal at all. We've got two RoyKat 105s. Is he gonna rush down the highway? I mean, this map is pretty much designed for you to rush down the highway. If you're playing Eurocore, you do it with VMX10s, and South Africa, you can do it even better with the RoyKats. Really, Star Trek has meant to stabilize Delta a little bit. And does have a CV and a more safer location, who I guess safe is relative in this case. But with infantry being brought in, that should be enough to at least hold on to it in a 50-50 strip. It does seem like his CV... I don't know if he's spotted it, or he just has a very good guess of where it is. I mean, we can... Oh yeah, he spotted it. And he killed it. Good bloody job here, Razzman. Gonna be ticking him up, +1 once again. And he's just doing like a RoyKat cavalry charge here all over. 2 through Delta, 2 south of Delta. Making really good progress, and there's really not much here to stop him. We are seeing some Leopard 105s being brought in. They can only do so much against this many RoyKats. He's going to be able to capture 2 rather chunky logistical trucks here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And Star Trek going to be trying to kill his own trucks. It works for Razzman. Those poor trucks just getting friendly fired. They got just a little bit too close to those RoyKats. Wasn't their fault. The ATGM shooting spotted itself, and Razzman just finished it off. Seen also another push up north here, the whole platoon worth of Burger Mags. Gonna be trundling their way up north. RoyKats are really pushing it. I mean, these 2 here aren't going to get spotted and killed, but the other 2 have a pretty good chance to do some sneaky flanking attacks, maybe through his forest there. Flank around and behind Bravo. I mean, the map is his oyster. As we're seeing, Razzman has done a very good job of just keeping up the momentum and pressure, just attacking all over, not getting too tunnel vision in one area. And taking advantage of the absolute speed which is available for South Africa. Speed is South Africa's most powerful weapon. I mean, going 120 kilometers off-road is insane. It's... I think, like, the Chinese have that really fast car which goes like 110 kilometers an hour and it's only a CV. Because not really any other combat-capable units which go over 100 kilometers an hour off-road. I mean, that's one power creep gimmick which South Africa has in its DLC, but compared to previous power creep gimmicks of other DLC nations, it's pretty acceptable. More importantly, great fun. Like, South Africa's it's not a great overpowered nation, which is good. Especially considering track record of previous Wargame DLCs. But it's fun to have a high-speed, low-drag country. And Razzman's done a very good job of piloting them so far. Very curious to see how this crod stack of 105s will play out. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't had to run into too many super heavy tanks. I mean, those can really just halt any RoyKat aggression. But at the same time, Razzman does have helicopters and planes at his disposal to deal with him. You just can't, you know, afford to get overwhelmed. RoyKat 76 is moving through, and yep, those 37mm guns are really crap. I mean, they're crap in Steel Division, and they're crap in Wargame too. And this is 40 years later. I'm seeing this is going to force Czar to relocate his artillery and bring in some emergency base defense to try and stop his RoyKat push. And it's just a single 50-point RoyKat. And it does go down to one simple TOW-2 missile. The Buffaloes once again managing to get into that village position, which is a fantastic spot for them. They can just deny anything from even popping over that hill. And yes, they only have Milan F1, but it's all fairly light armor. Okay, can do a decent amount of damage. Oh, the RoyKats rusting a little bit too ballsy here. Taking some rather nasty Eric's fire. I think it's pretty safe to say that Razzman does have this in the bag. He has a pretty bloody big point advantage, and I don't really see Czar actually making any decent headway anywhere. I mean, Razzman just has a very good coverage just all over the map now. I mean, just look on the mini-map, there's much more blue than there is red, and it's covering much more land. Now Raz getting that +2. I'm just taking this times 4. I don't think there's really too much else to say at this point. Good artillery fire. Both of those planes killing each other. On the automatic. Oh, actually getting a good trade here. More RoyKat attacks, but yes, the RV and Leopard 1A5 are going to force him back. But hey, there's more Buffaloes, and those Buffaloes don't mess about. See another RoyKat flank here. Or is he gonna kill CV? He's gonna kill CV, isn't he? He kills it. Yeah, that's pretty much the GG at that point. Surprised he didn't meant to do that sooner, really. Well, props to Czar, he's gonna stick it out to the end. As he manages to make decent headway into Delta of good infantry push for the Stormers and Dragoneers. Even bringing out super heavy, but a little bit late for that now. Yep, that's gonna be a GG. Razzman actually getting a point victory again. Damn. A pretty high KD ratio, yeah, of 1500 or so difference. But yeah, I think that's just a very good display of how to play South Africa in a 1v1. I definitely think playing motorized is really the best choice for them. Yes, you do lose out on the super heavy login, but you really just need that better infantry and just the mobility to take the victory most of the time. I mean, it really comes... I mean, those RoyKat 105s are the reason you're playing the country to begin with, and you brought the DLC. And as you can see, yeah, if you manage to maneuver them around effectively, push the flanks, apply pressure, try to deny the enemy from being able to save up for those super heavy tanks, you can do a fantastic job with South Africa. It's a very good offensive playstyle country, and I love seeing it. I hope we see more on these South Africa games in 1v1s, as they're probably one of the more highest skill ceiling decks to play. And, well, I'm gonna shut up and leave it at that. This has been another Wargame Red Dragon cast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as usual, please just take it easy.